Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ovens, sitting alongside Clint Miller.
Hola.
Hola. And we got B-Rad running the soundboard.
Bonjour.
All right.
Oui.
We are the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. We are powered by Race Chaser Online and Speed 77 Radio. We are entertained by Creekside Entertainment, the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 podcast, and everything is sounding sharp. Thank you to Penny Ann Electronics on Main Street in beautiful downtown Penny Ann. Clint, man, I'm just going to say it. I don't care. I'm a Junior fan, and woo!
Junior Nation. Dale, yeah.
Today is the Junior Nation Day of Celebration. Checkered flag is flying high at JR Motorsports.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You know, if Denny Hamlin couldn't win, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the guys at the top 10, who else would you rather have? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, and I think that's a really neat aspect of Dale Jr. winning is similar to his dad. A lot of people would say, if my driver can't win, I'm okay seeing him win. And I've heard a lot of people say that about Dale Jr. And as a Dale Jr. fan, I think that's awesome. But I'm not going to sell your driver short because Denny Hamlin come home second with no radio.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
At a restrictor plate track, no radio, and he comes home second.
Did everything by himself when they went back green after the lengthy delay.
And I was too focused in on what was happening with Junior. I didn't know that until at the end, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" But because you were waiting for Denny to come up through there, he was so strong all week long.
Yep. And they said after the break that he was having trouble with his radio, and they handed him a new wiring harness that he was going to try to fix under caution. Well, they ran 100 laps plus without having a caution once they went back green.
And at that point...
Yeah. And so, I'm with you. I'm sitting there wondering, when's he going to make his move? He's waiting too long. He's got a strong car. He's showed it all week. Yeah. And you just wait, and he just never came forward.
At that point, the wiring harness probably melted to the floor of the car.
It's a very good possibility.
You got it. Well, I got to tell you, kudos to NASCAR for sticking with it all day long. I know it was a long day, and, I know there was probably a small amount of race fans that weren't able to stay, and even though they ran it on the same day. But I got to tell you, just looking by the TV shots, there wasn't many people that couldn't stay.
No, there was a lot.
Was jam-packed.
Yeah, there was still a lot of people there.
And so kudos to them for sticking it out. Kudos to Daytona and Joey Chitwood and all those guys down there who worked tirelessly to make a great event and a great experience for their fans. And go ahead, Brad.
I just wanted to say it was a great finish. I liked the finish. Like you said, I'm surprised Denny didn't come up with a power move behind Junior the way that they were going. But I just really wanted to say the last lap, there's always going to be that last lap accident. And just wanted to say it was such a shame to see all those M&Ms go flying across the turn.
The bag got ripped open.
Oh, the bag ripped open. Oh. The M&Ms definitely melted in turn 4, not in your mouth.
And you can find me on Facebook at Brad Ovens.
He's playing here all week.
Oh, man. Sending out shots at Rowdy Bush. And, hey, funny story about Rowdy Bush. And I'm going to get in trouble for telling this story, but I had to explain to a very dear loved one of mine about Rowdy Bush. Because, when I was setting up our driver's pool for our annual Daytona party, the comment I got was, Rowdy Bush, that sounds like a really bad porno name. And I said, no, that's Kyle Busch. But what a great time. I mean, we went out and enjoyed the day with our friends, the Palmieri's, and once we knew the rains were setting in, we said, all right, it's time to hit the road. We're coming back home, and I'll watch the rest of the race in the man chair. and enjoy the night. But congrats to the whole Dale Jr. team. Stevie Letarte getting his quote-unquote lame duck year, gets a 500 win.
Could he be any more subdued?
Just a cool guy.
I mean, he was...
Danny Kaye said it best on Facebook last night. He goes, Steve Letarte is just a cool guy. He goes, I'd race a car for him any day.
Yeah, I mean, he was nonchalant. He greeted everybody. He hugged everybody, but he didn't really show any emotion. He was in check, man.
Yeah. That guy gets it, and he's going to do an awesome job in the booth with Rick Allen and Jeff Burton. I think we're coming up on our first break of the night, Clint, and we're going to toss it off to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk big block modifieds with the voice, Shane Andrews.
You're listening
to Turn 5. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They have the most up-to-date karaoke to make your bar or party a great event. They also have the wedding DJs that will make your wedding reception one that the family will remember forever. Contact them online at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700. Hey, Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to racechaseronline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at racechaseronline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online.
Okay?
What?
The 80s called. They want their store back.
It's time for a new Radio Shack. Come see what's possible when we do things together.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, brought to you weekly by Penny and Electronics, Creekside Entertainment, and Race Chaser Online, Speed 77 Radio. Clint, we're headed over to the Turn 5 hotline, and, you know, when we decided that we wanted to talk about all the Florida results, we said, hey, let's go straight to the source. Let's bring in the guy who's been down in Florida enjoying the Dirt Car Nationals all week and weekend long, Shane Andrews. Shane, thanks for joining us tonight, and what a week it was down there in Florida.
That was a fantastic week. Weather was great. Of course, it wasn't cold or snowy like it is up here in central and western New York. And I'll tell you what, one of the best Dirt Car Nationals that I've been involved in. It was great. It was just absolutely awesome to be a part of it.
And you know, we want to cover the dirt big block modifieds, and boy, they really started off with a bang on night one with Justin Haers getting his first career series win.
Yeah, that was a fantastic win for T-Bone. You know, he had a stout race car, and he went to him. And I'll tell you what, he was impressive. He really was. It was great to see him get that win. What a way to start the season off. And
you know, he was fast right out of the gate there. I mean, came out and, if I remember correctly, was second quick in the time trials and ended up winning his heat, got the front row. I mean, just an all-around shellacking, you might say, right from the start of the night.
Yeah, he put it to him. There was no doubt about that by any means, way, shape, or form. You know, he came out of the box, came out strong, won his heat race, set fast time, won his heat race, and then went out and won the feature. And it was an impressive run. Of course, Josh McMillan is new crew chief this year. You know, they've worked together, you know, on some stuff in the past, but this year really came together, and they're together, and a great group of guys, great family of folks, you know, the whole Haers family, great people, and to see them get that win down there, that was big. And as Justin told me in Victory Lane, biggest win of his career, and of course, he gets one of those cool little Gator trophies, too, that everybody's always after.
Well, yeah, the Gator Trophy, that's something that probably more pronounced the last 5 or 6 years. Anybody that goes down there from the dirt big blocks, you want to get a Gator at Volusia. I mean, that's just
And they're not talking the trade paper.
That's right.
Oh, by no means. This is each driver that wins a feature gets a little Gator, but if you win the overall points, you get the big. It's like a 3.5 foot long Gator, which is pretty impressive. And Stuart Friesen picked up his second championship down there this past week.
Yeah, and the other thing that came right starting off from night one was this new hot shoe, Anthony Perego, really turned some heads down there in Florida.
Yeah, he did. He's driving the Gary Mann-owned number 55 New York Truck Parts ride. He came right out of the box, on the practice night on Tuesday. He was second fastest in 2 of the 3 sessions, and then he was fast on Wednesday night when we started. As a matter of fact, he had 3 really good races down there. He was second on night 1, he was 9th on night 2, and he finished 9th on night 3.
And let's talk about night 2 and night 3. Of course, Friday night's action fell to rain down there at Volusia, but let's talk about night number 2 and just another great race you guys had there.
Yeah, Stuart Friesen put a whooping on the boys. Absolute whooping. He led from start to finish. He had quite an advantage at the end. Peter Britton was second. Brett Hearn was third. Justin Haers finished in fourth, and in fifth was Matt Shepard. And I'll tell you, nobody had anything for Stuart Friesen. He was that good on the second night, on Thursday night.
Yeah, and that run certainly, along the way helped him secure the points at the end of the week. And then as you guys moved into night number 3, it was enter stage right, Team HBR.
Yeah. Matt Shepard had a 4th on night 1. He had a 5th on night 2. And then Jimmy Phelps, he had a 9th on night 1 and a 10th on night 2. And they put it all together. And on night number 3, the final night, Saturday night, Matt comes out of there with a win. Stuart Friesen is second, and Jimmy Phelps was able to grab third. And interesting about Stuart Friesen's run, and just a little bit before halfway, he dove down pit road and put on a new right rear sneaker, and I think that really helped him. Last year, Brett Hearn did that in the 50-lapper, and he came back up through and took the win. And this year, a little bit of strategy like that as Friesen came in and came out with that fresh rear sneaker and charged to the front, but his charge came up short as he got the second place. But that was enough to collect the championship. Justin Haers was actually leading going in to the final night in points, but he had a couple of misfortunes right off the bat. On lap number 1, got caught up in a skirmish in corner number 1, and then the big wreck that took place on the front straightaway, he made a little bit of contact with, but he just couldn't muster up enough as he could only get to 10th place. Still a solid week for him, but just came up short in the points.
Yeah.
Now, I was listening to, or watching the speeds for practice the first couple nights, and I listened to the first night down there. It seemed like, going back to Matt Shepard, that it was just a matter of time before they found their way to the top. I know and then not that they struggled, but in the first couple nights in speed, they were down in the charts quite a ways, for what Matt Shepard's used to. You just kind of figured that that cream would kind of rise to the top.
Well, you knew it would only be a matter of time. Put it to going out on your first date. Okay, it was the first time that he had a chance competitively to get the car out there. I mean, he's driven Bicknells and the CC power plants for how long? The last 10, 12 years maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Or however many years with the big blocks. And now he's running a Troyer chassis. He's got a different power plant in there with Bob Bruno. And, it's a different setup, and it takes a little bit of time. And they were feeling their way, getting their oats underneath them. And I think he's going to be a force to reckon with. And on that note as well, I think you're going to see Jimmy Phelps be a force to be reckoned with as well. I mean, there's 2 very talented drivers. They've got a lot of people involved in that team. Billy Colton is involved with that, obviously. Randy Kosaki. Those guys are going to be doing everything they can. And then you've got two drivers that have finished in the top 5 in big block points over the last 3-4 years on the same team that are going to be working together, trading notes, talking. And right now, I think you're going to see some really good things coming out of them this year.
Yeah, and I can't wait because when we heard this move was made, I said, this is a great move for Matt Shepard, but this is probably equally a good move for Jimmy Phelps, because to be able to have those two guys working together, that's just going to be a powerhouse when they get that set up right, and it looks like they've well on their way. That's just going to be a great team that's going to win a lot of races this year.
Absolutely. And again, they're going to be there. They're going to be challenging for things, but I tell you, there's a couple of guys you got to keep your eye out on for, and one of those guys, defending series champion Brett Hearn. Brett had an 8th, a 3rd, and a 4th down there in Florida. It wasn't the vintage Hearn that you usually see bagging a win or two down in Florida, but still 3 top 10s coming out of there. I think he's somebody you've got to watch out for. I think Justin Haers has served notice that he's going to be coming out here swinging with both hands ready to go. And, anytime Stuart Friesen gets out there on a tour race, he's going to be tough to beat. And how about Peter Britton? The Australian was very good down there in Volusia. He got caught up in a jingle on Saturday night number 3, where he finished 27th, but he had a 7th and a second place finish the first 2 nights. So I think there's going to be some noise to be made, and it's going to be a super great season, competitive season on the Super Dirt Car Series.
That's for sure. Before we get you out tonight, Shane, we going to see you back at Canandaigua on Saturday nights?
Yes, you are. I will be back at the Canandaigua Motorsports Park on Saturday nights. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to get things going and kick things off. Really looking forward to getting back out there, seeing everybody, mingling with the natives, and having a good time out there in Canandaigua.
Well, I tell you, nobody works a crowd like you do, Shane. And like I said, when I listen to you this weekend, I love listening to you at Canandaigua, and then when I listen to you at Volusia, it doesn't matter where you are. You're the voice of Central New York racing as far as we're concerned, and we appreciate everything you do for the sport.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It's all labor of love. I'm a race fan with a microphone. I've got the best seat in the house. I get to sit there and I get to talk about something that I really am passionate about and enjoy, and that's auto racing and dirt track racing in general, whether it's a big block modified or a sprint car or a late model or a pure stock or a 305 sprint. I'm enjoying it and I love it, and I hope it comes across in my announcing, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
Well, we certainly do. I can tell you that. Shane, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you out at CMP real soon.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thanks for having me on. Keep up the great work. And if I can put a plug out there, a shameless plug like I always like to do, get one in at least during the conversation. If anybody's interested in following me on Twitter, they can catch me at the @ NYVoice13, or they can find me on Facebook. Always posting stuff, always talking racing, and look forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah, and we both do follow you on Twitter, so make sure to check that out at NYVoice13. Shane Andrews, thanks again, and that's Shane Andrews on the Turn 5 hotline, giving us a breakdown from Volusia, and we're going to toss it off to break. When we come back, we're going to talk to the winner of Night 1 down at Volusia. We're going to talk to Justin Haers.
You're listening
to Turn 5. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They have the most up-to-date karaoke to make your bar or party a great event. They also have the wedding DJs that will make your wedding reception one that the family will remember forever. Contact them online at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700. Hey Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to racechaseronline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at racechaseronline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online.
okay?
What?
The 80s called. They want their store back.
It's time for a new Radio Shack. Come see what's possible when we do things together.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, brought to you weekly by Race Chaser Online, Speed 77 Radio, Creekside Entertainment, and Penn Yan Electronics down in downtown Penn Yan. Headed off to the Turn 5 hotline, Clint. We're going to bring in winner from night number 1 at Volusia, the Dirt Car Nationals for the Big Block Modifieds. Picked up his first career Super Dirt Car Series win, and that is the driver of the Phelps Cement Products number 3, Justin Haers. Justin, thanks for joining us tonight, and let me just start off with congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was definitely a big win, and definitely one that I'll remember for a long time. That's for sure.
What did it mean to get that first series win in Florida? I know it would have meant a lot to get one up here too, but that had to be really special to get one down in Florida.
It was just because of the atmosphere there. Just the packed grandstands, and I mean you can imagine there's probably 10,000 people there, and to win there, it was just, it's like winning at Charlotte almost, just the crowd and the atmosphere there is just unbelievable.
And you guys really started strong out of the box that night, fast in qualifying, won your heat. I mean, how was the car? I had to imagine it was running pretty good, but how did it feel for you?
Yeah, we had a practice night on Tuesday night when we practiced, and we were fast as soon as we unloaded. Pretty much in every session except for the last one, we tried some stuff and it wasn't as good. And every night we won every heat race we're in. We timed fastest qualifier 2 nights and second fastest the other night. So I mean, the car, it's a brand new car we got from Bicknell, and it's just hopefully it runs as good up here as it did down there. That's for sure. Any
tracks that you could compare Volusia to any tracks up here in New York?
It's similar to Canandaigua, a lot more speed though, but it's pretty similar to Canandaigua. So it's almost like I have some experience running there, and then that'd be why we've had some success there over the years. We went down last year and then this year, and then the time before that was 10 years ago when I went down there. I was a rookie. But it's definitely a fast track, that's for sure.
And, to get that win on the first night out, from the off season, do you really have to, you guys had that practice night, is there really any cobwebs that you got to shake out there before you guys get going there on night 1?
Well, a little bit, you always get a little rusty in the off season, but I adapt pretty well, I think, to it. But just having a new car and making sure nothing falls off, all the brakes work right, and just hoping everything works right. And then it did. So it's great preparation by my team and Bicknell Racing Products and all those guys.
And you guys really carried that momentum through the rest of the week. I know night number 3, didn't end the way you guys wanted it to, but overall, what do you take away from the week as a whole this past week?
It's funny because I've had numerous calls, since last week, anything from congratulations to, how are you going so fast, or just all this stuff. But it's great to start the season the way we did, because we have some momentum, and hopefully we have kind of a baseline setup of what we know is going to be pretty fast, and so that we can tune from there. So that's kind of what we got. But it's definitely big pressure off the shoulders to get a win first race of the year. I mean, that's great.
And I'm sure the smile hasn't gone from Dad's face yet.
No, he's still down in Florida. They're actually leaving tomorrow. I talked to him tonight. He said, since you guys are all home, there's really nothing for me to do down here anymore, so I want to come back home. So and him and my mom are down there. They've been down there for about a month or so.
Decided to take a couple extra days, knowing that the busy racing season's coming up a little bit.
Yeah, they always usually stick around, for the 500, and then a couple days after, and then come home.
And, looking back on your racing career, I mean, I imagine that first series win, I sure at some point when it sank in, and maybe some of the thoughts of all the races you've run. I mean, you started out in the go-karts. That was my first memory of Justin was go-karts up at Frozen Ocean and anywhere else, Paradise, wherever. But I mean, have you had any time to really think back on all of that and kind of put everything into perspective?
I really haven't, thinking back that far, but just, I've been doing this since I was 12 years old, go-karts to, late models to sportsmen to, 358s to modifieds, and, this being probably my biggest win ever, is just, it's just incredible. We've been close so many times. Last year we were, leading the race, 15 to go, driving away from the field, and, a hind brakes, throttle linkage, which never happens. And, a lot of crazy stuff has happened where, when I've had a chance to be winning or to win the race, it hasn't happened. So,
yeah.
It's crazy.
No, I gotta believe that. I gotta believe that other than winning at Syracuse, winning on the dirt stage down to Volusia has got to be maybe the second biggest event of the year for a dirt car modified.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like you said, that to win there in Florida is just unbelievable, and like I said, the fans and just the hype of everything down there is just unbelievable. It's like I said, we went down there and know that we'd be in contention to win, and to go into the last night with a 15-point lead after the heat races, and it was basically me just probably being a little bit too aggressive early in the race, and I got in the guy's back bumper with my left front, and he hit a rut, and it kind of just ripped the wheel right out of my hand, and I still didn't count ourselves out though, even though we went to the back, and I never counted myself out of winning that championship, and I think we felt like 3 or 4 points short of winning it. So
yeah, you guys didn't miss by much, and yeah, I would definitely hang my hat on that. You guys never gave up, came back, and just got nipped at the end. But hey, looking ahead to this year, we're going to see you at Canandaigua for a full season and the Dirt Series.
Yeah, that's the plan as of right now. We prefer, to run about 10 minute races a year. We do about 50 to 60. Any more than that's probably a little bit too much for what I got going on as far, but that's our plan as of right now to do that. And like I said, I'm excited to get started. Glad we got a win off our back, and hopefully the next one's come a lot easier than this one did.
Well, you sure should be excited. That's beyond the shadow of a doubt there. So,
before we get you out, Justin, I want to give you a chance to thank your crew and the sponsors behind you, help you get that first Dirt Car Series win down in Volusia.
Yeah, sponsors, Phelps Cement Products, SMV Motorsports, McNeil Racing Products, Sweeteners Plus, Classics and Customs, Cost Plus Processing, Bicknell Racing Products, Integra Shocks. Those are my sponsors. And as far as crew, I've got to thank Josh McMillan, Jim Davies, Joe Cook, Todd Kirkwood, Jeff Niskus, my mom, dad, wife, and my daughter Emma. They put up a lot of late nights in the shop.
Well, it certainly looks like some of those late nights paid off for you, and we're excited to see you over at Canandaigua.
All right. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Justin. That's Justin Haers on the Turn 5 hotline. And when we come back, we're going to talk some more racing, Clint.
All right, you're listening
To Turn 5. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They have the most up-to-date karaoke to make your bar or party a great event. They also have the wedding DJs that will make your wedding reception one that the family will remember forever. Contact them online at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700. Hey Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to racechaseronline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at racechaseronline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online.
Okay?
What?
The 80s called. They want their store back.
It's time for a new Radio Shack. Come see what's possible when we do things together.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, powered by Race Chaser Online and Speed 77 Radio, entertained by Creekside Entertainment, and everything sound and sharp with Penny and Electronics on Main Street in beautiful downtown Penny Ann. Clint, we are coming back to a new segment that we started a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty pumped up about it. We had a good time with it the first time, and we're going to make it a staple here on the Turn 5 podcast. And that segment is Buy or Sell.
Buy or sell.
Clint, let's get your placards ready for the auction. Buy or sell Timmy McCready and his new rocket chassis.
As of right now, I am selling it. You know what? I'm giving it away.
He's not just selling it. He's not bartering or trading. He's giving it away.
I'll pay you a quarter to take it. Right now, I mean, granted, the season's early, but he said it himself in his interview when he talked about switching from his Warrior chassis back to the Rocket that he didn't want the bad finishes. He thought if he went with the Rocket and running for the series, he wouldn't have the bad finishes that take him out. Well, let me tell you something. He's had a couple good ones, but I don't think they were World of Outlaw. I think they were when he was running for Lucas Oil. And he didn't have a finish in the top 12 or 13, I think, with the Outlaws at Volusia. I mean, you can't do that with Brandon Shepard running up front, Darrell Lanigan running up front. You can't have those.
Yeah, the only thing, you talk about Brandon Shepard, the only thing he's got going for him there is that Shepard's, as far as we know, not running the full series, just filling in for Josh Richards, but still, I mean, Lanigan, a whole list of guys that are running the full tour. It's tough sledding. And personally, and I told you this, Clint, about a week ago when we were starting to look over some of the results that were coming in. I'm selling it right now, but I just got a feeling that, like Matt Shepard switching over to the Troyer, there's going to be that adjustment period, but I really feel like if Timmy can get it dialed in, he's going to be okay. And the wins will come, and we'll see where he's at the end of the year. I mean, these guys could go on a tear and really make up some points.
And they very well could. One thing that over the winter when it first came out that McCready was going back to Rocket, I went back and I looked up some of the numbers from when he was racing his Warrior. He had as many wins in his Warrior chassis in 2 years than he had in the last 4 or 5 with the Rocket Chassis before he went with the Warrior. He had more top 10s, and so it makes it hard for me. I right now, I'm not seeing where...
And the last, probably, I know at least year or two, they haven't followed a direct series anywhere, though. They've been running, I guess you would call them a cherry-picking, a big money show team, where I don't think they've been following any of the...
Who's that?
Timmy McCready.
No, he's a World of Outlaw regular. He hasn't missed a World of Outlaw show.
But they do hit a lot of big money races.
They do.
Okay.
But those are wins that were just under the World of Outlaw website, under the results.
Yeah, so their series, those numbers are going to be just for those series. And Brad does bring up a good point. Absolutely.
And if I remember right from my days with working with the guys at World Racing and Dirt Car, Timmy McCready always seemed like one of those guys that as soon as we get, I don't know about his early season, but as soon as we get into May, June, July, the hot, dusty, slick, dry, black tracks is when he really comes alive. So I wouldn't totally write him off right now, but it's definitely not.
But when do you
not looking as good as it could be?
Right, and when do you get to the point where he's already so far behind the 8 ball now?
Oh, yeah.
With the talent that runs the World of Outlaws every week.
They've got a long road ahead of them, that's for sure.
They do. All right, that was a good start. Let's move on to our second buy or sell. Buy or sell HBR's week at Volusia.
I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer here. We knew that, Jimmy Phelps last year came a long way, by himself. And now he's got Matt Shepard as another resource. Granted, Matt Shepard's in a new car as a Troyer. He's still Matt Shepard. He can still drive. And they showed at Volusia that they were faster and faster every night out.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that as well. I think this team, and I'll be honest, I thought it was going to take more of a learning curve initially. And boy, did they prove me wrong. I mean, they come out and Matt wins on night number 3. Jimmy was right there in the top 5. And they both ran top 10 all week long. And in the races that they ran those top 10s, I mean, they had to start mid-pack and came up to finish in the top 5, the top 10. So, yeah, these guys are not going anywhere, and they're going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out if Matt Shepard's still going to call Canandaigua a Saturday night home. I don't think that's been... I don't think that's came out yet.
I don't think it's come out yet, but I feel like that's where he's going to be. I really do. I think that's where he's going to
be. Guys, I've got one for you. I just got my handy-dandy wooden stirring spoon out, and buy or sell conspiracy amongst NASCAR.
Conspiracy amongst NASCAR.
Does NASCAR have the... Okay, and you'll have to excuse my analogies at this point, but does NASCAR have the black helicopter come in, drop off the men in black suits and black sunglasses? But, no, it's a terrible analogy. But does NASCAR, obviously there's a lot of people talking after the Daytona 500 and just the way everything went down, but there's a lot of people talking about how everything's turning into a conspiracy.
To all the tinfoil hat wearers of the NASCAR world, the only thing I can do is point up a finger for you, and it's not my thumb, and it's not my pinky, and I'll just leave it at that.
So we're not hanging loose with that one?
We're not hanging loose. But
I'll take that as a sell.
That's a total sell. I just... And the thing is, I think it's sad that there's people out there that actually believe that. I think that's really sad.
Yeah, I'm selling it too, in a big way. He won the pole by hundredths of a second. Do you know how hard that is to,
They have to have all other 46 teams in on it too.
Yeah. Do you think Roger Penske is going to roll over and let Richard Childress in the 3-car have the pole?
Is Rick Hendrick going to roll over?
No way.
No.
No way.
Steven, you'll
And
have
you know
to-
what? Here's an even better one. You think Jack Roush is going to just roll over and let them do that?
No, look at as much speed as they found in their Fords from practice to qualifying day.
Yeah.
Another perfect example. The Denny Hamlin interview after the race, the second place finish. Obviously, nobody likes finishing second, but Denny finished second in the race in the 500. He won everything else that he was in every time he set foot on the track. If there was something going on behind the scenes, I don't think you're not gonna. You'd be able to tell.
Yeah, there's too much money
You can't
involved.
do it.
There's too much money involved with FedEx, Dollar General, all these other teams that are putting $2-3 million a race down.
I think you need to look at what happened at Richmond last year, and that shows you just how much is at stake for NASCAR and for these teams. Look at what happened with Michael Waltrip Racing. Napa. How long has Napa been in the Cup Series? Are you kidding me?
Forever.
2001 with Michael Waltrip, anyways.
And so
Right.
that happens, and then all of a sudden that huge sponsor in the sport says, bye-bye. I mean, not completely. They went to the Nationwide Series, but that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, do you think if Mike Helton went to Furniture Row and says, hey, we want Richard Childress in the number 3 car to get on the pole. Is that all right with you, Furniture Row Racing? They're going to say, no way. I want the pole.
Yeah.
I want my Furniture Row car.
He almost got it.
And he did almost get it. And if he hadn't bottomed out on his warm-up laps, he probably would have got it.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing. Jimmy Johnson bottomed out so bad in the qualifying and just missed it. You can't help that.
Yep.
It can,
Okay.
No. Nope.
Next one, buy or sell. Steve Kinzer winning his 21st World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series championship.
Sell. He's going to have a good year. He's going to win. I think I said he's going to win 5 or 6 races. I think Steven said 2 or 3. But he's not going to win. He's in the long term. He's not going to beat Darren Pittman. He's not going to beat Donnie Schatz. And he's sure as heck not going to beat Cody Dara. Oh wait, no, hang on.
My heart wants to buy this so incredibly bad, but it's not going to happen. And I got to tell you, after he won that race down in Florida, I felt like, wow, boy, did I sell myself short saying he's only going to get 2 or 3 wins. I mean, he went down and got one right off the bat, and it's like, okay. The King's here.
He's here, and he's going to be competitive, and he's going to get his share of top 5s, top 10s. But it's just going to be tough, I think, for him to put it all together and to go out and win. Maybe, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Got any more, Brad?
I'm trying to dig with a spoon, but
All
I'm not
right.
finding much.
Let's buy or sell Kyle Busch in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yep, go ahead.
I'm selling it. I hate it.
Brad, do you see my face? This is my shocked face. I'm shocked that Clint doesn't like that.
And I've had to listen to my dad forever because my dad is a big Kyle Busch fan.
He's a smart man.
You have our apologies.
Yeah, well, I'll go out and Kyle Busch is probably one of the most talented drivers.
You can't take that away from him.
No, you can't.
Nope.
Did he grow up a lot last year? Yeah, I think he did. I still think there's no place in the Truck Series for a guy with that much talent running the Cup Series, contending for Cup titles, shouldn't be dropping down and running the trucks. I mean, who does that now besides Kyle Busch?
Nobody. And I'm gonna be devil's advocate here, and I'm gonna buy it. And the only reason I'm gonna buy it is I heard his crew chief on Sirius XM today, and the case he made for it is okay if they want to take Kyle out of the Truck Series, that puts 30 crew members from KBM out on the unemployment line. because without Kyle running the truck in what races he does, that whole team doesn't get funded. And that includes Darrell Wallace Jr. And, that I guess that would be the only thing I could say to that is, okay, him being able to run those races and attract the sponsorship that he does keeps that team going. And, I mean, is it getting a little better? Maybe, but times are still a little tough down there in Charlotte and Concord. So for that reason, I would buy it.
You know what? I think that Kyle Busch, his name and how good of a truck he's going to get, I would think that that should be, and granted, this is just me talking, but should be able to sell enough sponsorship that say, hey, listen, I'm still owning the truck. It's still got the best equipment out there, but, I'm going to have Darrell Wallace drive it. And if you want me to be a part of it, okay, maybe 3 or 4 races. He's going to drive 10, 12, 16 races in the truck probably.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to win 8 times. Now, my opinion is you can't get young blood in the sport if the guys that shouldn't be there because they're hands and shoulders above everybody else that they're racing with. And there's talented guys in the truck series.
Yeah.
But
you shouldn't have Cup guys breaking records in the nationwide and truck series for the most wins, most consecutive starts, when you've got guys that are below them that, if Kyle Busch wasn't racing the truck series, who would win? I mean, we could probably come up with a list of 6 or 8 guys that could potentially win, but because Kyle Busch was there in the truck, it's... And how can you not put your money on the Kyle Busch?
And those are 5 or 6 guys that at the end of the year, they don't have any of this. If they don't have any money. If they're driving Kyle Busch's truck, the best equipment out there, then and they're winning races, then maybe they can get some money. Where does the future of NASCAR come from?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, all these guys that seem to be coming up out of the K&N Pro Series,
but they're bringing
K&N
their own
East Series.
But they're bringing their own money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Where's the working man coming from?
Well,
I would rather see Parker Kligerman in the GoDaddy car.
Yeah,
she's taking the seat of somebody that has talent.
Yeah. Well, this is a conversation that we're going to have to carry on for next week.
Could go on.
We're
all
getting
night.
ready to end the show, and we are going to do our picks for Phoenix. Daytona was our bye week, and being that Denny Hamlin finished second in the Daytona 500, and I'm sure that's who you would have went with anyway, we're going to go ahead and give you first pick for this week.
Okay, Phoenix, I'm going Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick at Phoenix. Jot it down. Lock him in. Final answer.
Final answer.
Final answer. Going with Happy Harv out at Phoenix. Well, I am going to go with... you guys left him on the board, so I got to go with him. And I'm not going to be ashamed about going with him. I'm going with the Lowe's 48 of Jimmy Johnson. He's going to win at Phoenix.
Final answer?
Final answer. It pains me not to go with Junior, but
Well, we got a little contest going here.
We got a contest going here, and I'm a points guy. I gotta run points. So,
all right, Brad.
Let's see. We've got Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson off the board. So, honestly, I think I'm gonna have to put my money with Clint Boyer.
Clint Boyer.
Hey, there we go. Caitlin, you got anybody?
That's a nice pick. In the 5-hour Energy Camry. Now,
Caitlin says Brad K.
Caitlin's going with Brad Keselowski. All right, fair enough. Now, just like NASCAR, we are going to put an importance on winning. So, if your driver wins, you're going to get 3 points additional. So we want an emphasis on winning.
So 3 points for winning.
So if you win, you're going to get 6 points. Second place gets 2 points. Third place gets 1 point. Going to put the emphasis on winning.
All right.
Okay. Anything else we got tonight?
Great show. No, great show tonight.
Thank you to
Just
Shane
awesome.
Andrews, Justin Haers for joining us on the show. We're going to wrap it up here tonight for the Turn 5 podcast. We want to thank Creekside Entertainment, Race Chaser Online, Speed 77 Radio, and Penny N Electronics for helping us bring you the Turn 5 Racing Podcast every week. For B-Rad and Clint, I'm the host, Steve Ovens, saying, race fans, be sure to check it before you wreck it. We'll talk to you again next week.